To look at the rands and cents and our number of the day related to that, let's bring it up 14.98 to the dollar, which is a pretty weak level, very close to 15 rand to the dollar. The rand hit this level this afternoon as pressure mounts on Finance Minister Nhlanhla Nene to resign, and of course there's pressure on the presidency because Nhlanhla Nene has asked the president to relieve him of his duties. Reportedly, several opposition parties, including the EFF, DA, COPE and the UDM, have called for Nene's head following his admission at the state capture inquiry that he did have several meetings with the Gupta family during his first term as finance minister and while he was deputy before that. President Cyril Ramaphosa's ambitious plans to restore public confidence in his administration and rescue South Africa's economy from the clutches of state capture have now been dealt a serious blow because Nene is such a trusted finance minister. Reports suggesting that the minister has asked the president to relieve him from his duties. The weaker rand comes at a time when international oil prices are elevated, raising the prospect of much higher inflation. The weaker local currency also pushing up the cost of other imports, not only fuel, although it does benefit some sectors. Remember, some of the exporters and tourism as well. So we'll see what the effects are. But right now, what we have is political uncertainty, and that is gripping the market. One thing investors don't like is not to know the direction of a crucial ministry such as the Finance Ministry. Well, the presidency itself remains mum on whether Finance Minister Nene will be relieved. Some economists have also called on President Ramaphosa to accept Finance Minister Nene's request to be relieved from his duties because he's proved not to be trustworthy. They say the saga surrounding Minister Nene must be resolved with immediate effect to avoid further uncertainty on financial markets, which seem to have lost confidence in him.
The rand has recovered slightly after weakening to almost 15 rand against the US dollar this morning in anticipation of Nene's resignation. Economists say the saga has caused uncertainty and panic in the market, and this is likely to make the cost of borrowing expensive for the country. There are concerns that this could lead to ratings agencies downgrading the country's credit rating.
That if a finance minister cannot be trusted, which is, I'm sorry to say, what he has proved to be not completely trustworthy by saying that he did not meet somebody when he did, by not being prepared to divulge what the subjects under discussion were, and in fact, it appears he may have been misled the whole of the South African public through what he said in public statements. That has got to say, I'm afraid, that overwhelms any other technical abilities he may have had in drawing up a budget or managing the finance ministry.
Some economists describe Nene's tenure during 2014 and 2015 before he was fired as finance minister as adequate. Still, they say there's nothing that stood out as outstanding during that time. They say that Nene's reputation has been damaged by the fact that he had to apologize last week for meeting the Gupta's family at their residence in Saxonwold and their business premises. Nene also came under fire for conflict of interest after his son Siyabonga Nene benefited from the Public Investment Corporation's deal when Nene was chairperson of the board.
As a Minister of Finance, he hasn't been in that position in his latest tenure for terribly long to be able to assess how well he's been doing. But based on his tenure in 2014, 2015, I suppose the answer would be adequate. It was not, there was nothing that stood out particularly as an outstanding job.
But it's not all doom and gloom. Economists are optimistic that the economy will eventually recover from this saga and that there are some capable successors to Nene. Naledi Matlapeng, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Well, earlier,